Welcome back to the T's and Q's podcast with Sharon and Shiko. Hi, Mama. I like the dress. Japshu wenye nimeingia. It's like a shirt dress or a t-shirt dress.
These are like my favorite.
Hey.
I have so many.
Inakafiri.
Thank you.
Unka cute. I apologize, but it's good for the sun though. Nairobi kuna waka. Kuna waka. It's so much. Release me.
Just when I thought we were enjoying the cold season in the morning, right now it's hot.
I know it's so bloody hot. I was walking outside and I was like, hey, please, Ebu, calm down. Just chill. I am very ready for Limuru right now. Very ready. Yeah.
So, how has your week been? Weekends?
My weekend was, what did I do this week? My weekend was amazing. I spent Sato in the house just watching, catching up on my Nollywood akina Ogas.
Hizo ni zako.
Aya. Nakaa mtu wa Netflix. No. I actually like Nigerian films. They are fun and they say a lot. Concept was about this dude who really loved a woman, and then I don't know, Sunajua them and their jujus and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy really liked this woman and they got married, and then he wanted a lot, and then he went and visited some oracle somewhere and he did something wrong, so he ended up having like the ugliest death. And then his spirit was not at rest because he wanted to die with his woman. I was like, I want this love. I want I want my mom's spirit to follow me in my. Am I sure that is what I want to say?
Are you sure?
Imagine us leaving me there, Tiriko. Alafu spirit ya mwanaume inanifuata tu. Okay, I love you, babe, but
Nah.
Just keep your spirit to yourself. Yeah, it was like a nice film. It was a very good film.
Interesting. Who, after a long, nice birthday week,
The bash was good.
It was amazing. I loved it.
Congratulations, Mama. You did good.
Yeah. I was always afraid of hosting, but I think this one was also helpful friends. Of course. It was lovely. I loved it. The turnout. Guys are just happy. You know, the last guest left at what time? Midnight. I'm like, party after party.
I left you guys here. You guys still continued.
Midnight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that good.
Anyway, you truly enjoyed.
And birthday was like, can I just stay? It's your birthday, but time out.
He needed to sleep. I think really watched Shalala, by the way. He was in his PJs. He had fun though. That time he was saying he would cancel this birthday if we don't cut cake.
He was so over it. Maybe no kids, it's just cake. Like, did you notice after the cake they ate it, they just
everywhere, all gone.
They just disappeared. It was like,
all of them.
Birthday over.
No more. We have done cake, guys. We have done cake. Now let's go to sleep. We call it a day. It's been a good birthday, but it was beautiful. I loved the pictures you sent.
We looked nice.
We looked very, very gorgeous. Very gorgeous. Mothers of the Year. You should definitely add like event planner to your portfolio, by the way.
I should. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe
because you unafanya kitu kidogo. You do just a small thing, you add it to your portfolio.
Just like,
so
I should give the rates.
Tengeneza rate card, by the way.
For advice, how to
conduct mom birthdays.
Specifically. I got you. I'm here.
But I've borrowed a leaf or two from you with regards to the same. I feel like it's very important for us to give our children what we think they need, what's important for them, especially such events, because they mark very special things in their lives. You know, when I was growing up, for us, I don't know if it's because our background was uko chini uko. Birthdays but they were definitely not a big deal. And the more I grew up, I started feeling like, oh, you know, my classmates, they brought cake to school, they gave us sweets. Why can't I do the same? My parents don't love me. There was a time, I think, I was like 12. And then I told my dad, so my birthday is coming up and it's going to be on a Sunday. Can I call my friends? My dad was like, go talk to your mom. And I went and talked to my mom. My mom was like, get out of here, girl. What are you talking about? And then Sunday came. And I'm like, maybe these people are surprising me. Maybe they'll do something nice. But alas, we had omena for lunch. We had omena for lunch, and I think the only thing they did was like, my dad never used to tell me happy birthday, but mom definitely woke up and said, happy birthday, baby girl. Sorry we couldn't do this and this, but we know it's your birthday, so don't worry. But I think I would understand them because of our financial situation during those days. My dad wasn't big on events, but when he definitely had tunes, he used to throw them big, like really, really huge. And I used to get very, very jealous of my baby siblings, because I feel like, kwanza the last two, my baby sister and the last born, I feel like they got the best out of life, because dad used to go all out. He calls catering services, sijui wachome mbuzi, he gets booze, calls everyone, all his bros, his cousins, it's happening, it's an entire event. Well, then I'm thinking, for my fifth birthday, what did we do? We didn't do anything. So I don't know if it's because we came too early, and if that's a problem, that's something I am afraid of, that it happens to me, because I always want to show up for my son. I want to do the best things for him. If his birthday is coming, if he's whatever, he's graduating, I want to make it big. I want to make it memorable. You know.
And I think it comes with, is it a saying or something close to, our children always get the best of what we had. So it comes in two ways, and this is something my sister has also mentioned in terms of even the way I parent Kwevo. It comes somehow, it's sort of like the gaps I had as a child. I'm sort of feeling it with Kwevo. So like when you talk about birthdays, even me growing up, birthdays were not like a big deal. It was a happy birthday, that's it. It's only my sister who made it. It's my birthday. And then it was easy for her because it was the first day of the year. There's always something happening, so it was obvious. But for the rest of us, it was your birthday. So even I struggled now as a grown up to celebrate that much and making it such a big deal, because it was never a big deal growing up. So why am I making it a big deal now? Though I still celebrate myself, but I never make it that big. But now I see myself doing it with Kwevo. I'm like, you're gonna have the best. This one, I was like, it's just gonna be small. Well,
it wasn't small. It was the absolute opposite of small. You guys, if you hear what Chico is calling small, we should have taken like a whole video of the whole event. The things that were happening in this house. Mashallah.
So we go way and beyond, which is, I think, because some of the things we've missed, we want to fill it up. Like, let's just let them have the best. If we're in a position to, well, why not? And we also celebrate with them, like, yay, it's fun.
But are there times like when you feel you get scared, or maybe in the past you are afraid of, this is not going to happen, this is going to be different for Q this year, maybe I'm not doing enough for this little guy? Have you ever felt that?
I've had those moments many times, so many times. I remember So the hardest one was, which the circumstances were a bit different. When he was turning 4, I was sick. I couldn't do anything. But I remember we baked cake in the house. We decorated together. And we just did it. But something he doesn't remember much. I was like, Mommy, we didn't do anything on my birthday.
You have been jumped. You have been jumped.
Yeah, but it's not. There's that. Part of me feels I didn't come through enough for him.
Yeah.
And I always have that scare. So the 5th birthday, I was like, this is half a decade you're turning. I have to do so much. We went for a trip. We came back. We did a whole picnic birthday. So there's that pressure for always wanting to show up more, than even if there's the struggle.
Yeah.
When you're matching your finances and what you need to do, and like what's priority, what's not. There's that. Like for me, this month I've been telling people, please do not invite me. We are drinking water. We shall drink coffee because, well,
for the rest of the month, it's gonna be nasty, people. I can't relate.
Yeah, but I always have to, and it's not just for birthdays. It's for school. It's for he needs something, and I'm like, I can't do it, or not now. And well, the days, I think the hardest. Let me give you a story. I lost my job when Q was in PP2. PP2 second 2022. He was in PP2. Yes, PP1. He has just started school. It was the second term of his school. I knew things were fine. You have salary.
Yeah.
And well,
shit happened.
I get layoff, and my son comes home that day. I was in my moment. I was just crying because I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to support my son? How am I going to pay bills? It was chaotic. He comes home, he finds me in that moment, and I was like, Mommy, what's wrong? And me and Q, we talk a lot. I'm very open. And my sister tells me sometimes, like, I think you overshare things. But I just like laying it down as is. I'm like, yeah, you're small, but it is what it is. So, yeah. And I remember telling him, I've lost my job and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he just gave me a hug. Of course, he didn't understand what I meant. He just gave me a hug and told me it's gonna be okay. Which made me cry even more, because I was like, I'm supposed to be worrying about you and me telling you that it's gonna be okay, and not you telling me it's gonna be okay.
It's supposed to be the other way around.
Exactly. And I think it was the saddest. And even the days that came afterwards, he will ask me for something and I cannot buy for him. He'll need, and especially if I don't have external from his dad's support, which is, I still call it seasonal. It comes when it wants or never comes at all, which I'm used to it. Yeah, I actually call it no support, because you can't be sending me 2,000 today and then you send me another 1,000 after 3 months. What am I going to do with 1,000? I'm going to buy watermelon and an apple and that's it. I need more than watermelon and apple.
Oh my God.
So, well, he's listening. It's true, but it is what it is.
That's the real story in here.
So I worry a lot, and it's like that when I don't have financial, even at school right now, I'm thinking January is gonna come. He needs fees, he needs all these things. Like, I worry and constantly think about, will I have enough to give him, support him? And you can't tell a child there's no school fees. There's like, those are things even our parents shielded us.
Yeah.
Like, they can't tell you. I'm even thinking about it when you're sharing about birthday. Probably maybe they couldn't tell you, hey, our finances right now, we can't throw a bash. Those are not conversations
they were just very hostile.
Yeah, so it's just like, no, it's not happening. They can't tell you there's no money.
Yeah.
And I think now that we are moms, we are seeing it probably how our parents did it, shielding you from, we want to give you what's priority, that's your fees, you have clothes, and then these other ones are not priority. And I even thought about it now. When I was doing birthday, I was like, is this bash a priority? And then there's me who live a moment, we're just living, we think about tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what helped me. But part of me was like, I will need this money next year, this school, this, all this. But I was like, you know what? This moment and this celebration matters more than, you know what, God will come through.
The one for next year we will sort out next year.
Yeah,
I'm literally telling my mom that this whole time, cause she's been like, Mom, there's not this and this and this, this and this. And I tell her what's most important for now.
Yeah.
Let's sort it that. Let's first sort that, and then hizo zingine we will just figure it out as we move. I think I have definitely turned into my father.
Like what's important?
My brother yesterday told me, Sharon, I'm stingy. You're so stingy nowadays. Why are you stingy with money? And Dad wasn't even like that. I'm like, hala. Because you guys seeing the expenditure in this place. But anyway, I get you. I get how that feels when you know that you have a good source of income and then suddenly, it's gone. Alafu employers, please, if you know you have a single mom or you have an expecting single mom, please cut us some slack, tafadhali, cut us some slack.
Please do. It's crazy. Like
just because you're laying people off because CG or the company needs to restructure, those are such, if you ask me, jackass reasons to lay off someone who has so many people depending on them. Because I remember I was laid off and I had just told the office like 1 week before, oh guys, I am pregnant, and everyone knew I'm not married. And I had explained the situation. I'm pregnant, and my man is saying he cannot bring anything to the table.
They know it's just you.
They know it's just me. And they also knew that we had lost Dad less than a year before. And I was literally, firstborn duties, just take over every other thing, baby girl, because you decided to get out fast. Yeah. It was crazy. I panicked with that pregnancy. I really panicked. I was like, oh my God. What am I going to do? And then, good thing is, I still have a very, very great friend. She came through for me in such a big way. She was like, you know what? I have a project and I want you to come and work on it. And that's how I was like, I'll be able to sort things out, because I didn't know, how will I continue paying my NHIF? Will I be able to? In my head, I was like, you know what? Acha niende nyumbani. I was like, I'll just move to Sharks because I can't give myself, And then she tells me, no, you don't need to. I'm having a project, just come work on it and then see how it goes. So from that project, that's why I think I got money to just create a nest for my little boy. I knew I had prepared everything. If the hospital bill came to 100K, I had put in money for insurance and NHIF. So I was like, putting all those things together. His clothes, his nini, paying stuff, food, nini, everything I had put together. And it wasn't a struggle when I gave birth as much. Alafu, I've just been constantly afraid of me not being able to provide for my son the way I want to. You know the way you give birth and you're like, when you have that kabam and then you're on your own, maybe you're sitting alone somewhere and you're like talking to your baby. So I like, baby, when you come out, because of my son, I was very misled. I thought it was going to be a girl. So I even named him with a girl's name. That's very shameful, but oh well. I was talking and telling him, Sijui, when you come out, it's going to be so beautiful, just you and I against the world. I'm going to give you everything. Nini. It was just a bliss. It was just so beautiful. And then reality hits. You give birth. bas, now there is your human being. Figure it out. Figure out how you're going to like provide, how you're going to find food. And then he continues to grow every single day. I don't know if I am a lucky girl or it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But I feel like my boy is the most adaptive human being I have ever met. And he likes his life so much. You know that a kid who just wakes up happy, overjoyed, like everyone else is struggling. My mom is over there looking like the world is ending. She doesn't even know what to do with her life at this point. David is just the best kind of person. The best kind of person. He wakes up happy. He's there telling people, Ma'am. I like how he calls Mom. He's talking, laughing, jovial, doing all his things, running around. Na napenda hiyo maisha ya nyumbani. So I don't even know when I decide to bring him to Nairobi what it's going to look like. Because huku hakuna fields za kukimbia. You know, he wakes up, he runs around, anatafutwa huko, he plays hide and seek. Like, this is the best thing ever. Now I want to continue showing up for him the way I want to. I want him to experience the things that I didn't get to experience. I don't want him to come back home from school and say, oh, he's been sent home because of school fees. Because I went through that. I know exactly how it feels. I know exactly how traumatizing that gets, especially for kids when you know everyone else is learning. No, when you say CBC na bamba, so for them it's fun. My brother usually wakes up and says, kwani saa ya kufika shule ijafika? I'm like, wow. When I was your age, I was buying a lot of time in bed, pretending to be praying, but you're there waking up and saying, kwani shule ifiki? I want him to feel loved. I want him to feel like he's not going to miss anything. But then you also have that fear of, where do I draw the line of him feeling that he is going to, or rather him getting spoiled?
Yeah, there's that.
How do you know that your son is spoiled?
Oh, well. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Who would want to say my child is spoiled?
No one. No. Our sons are not spoiled. Please.
They
have very many toys which they destroy in the next day. That's not being spoiled. And they'll be bought again. That's not spoiling.
This question, I remember I went to Quavo's parents meeting, and this is a question that came up. That how do you know that your kid is spoiled? And because we have different parents, different backgrounds, so there'll be there's one parent who said, of course, noting we are all different.
Yeah.
There's one parent who said, I think maybe based on where they come from, to them they're like, if you give them more than 5,000 allowance. To me, I'm like, huh?
Jesus! What? Well, which world is this? I beg your pardon.
So I think spoiled, everyone defines spoiled differently. Probably maybe someone is looking at Quavo and like, that kid is spoiled. To me, maybe it's not. If I look at another child, I'm like, that kid is spoiled. And to them, it's not. But I feel like if they get to a point where it's a problem if they don't get their way, then that is where, you know, the line is drawn, where the child feels. So I'll use an example of maybe you used to getting them toys every single month.
Yeah.
Then it comes to this month, okay, mommy, where's my toy? And then they just become wild. Like they feel like they deserve it. And just
tantrums.
It just becomes a whole different space. Then you feel like, okay, we're not going the way it's supposed to be going. But imagine, let's just spoil them. It's spoiling with lessons.
We are doing our best. Please don't judge us. If you're buying the toys, you're buying them because you know our children need them, and it's good they get what they want. And I remember I read about a conversation on social media the other day. This parent was saying, I let my kids earn. I don't know if you're the one who sent me that reel. There's a mom who's giving
I've seen it.
her children. Yeah, she's giving her children house chores, and they know if I wake up and do this and this and this and this and this, I'll earn like 10 shillings at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember it was a YouTube video. I'll earn 10 shillings at the end of the day. Now it's teaching them responsibility,
which is amazing.
Which is really, really good if you ask me. I feel like that's a good way of like preparing our kids financially, to be financially intelligent.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, you know, there are children who work and do the same things and they're given 1,000 shillings a day. And our kids are going to be like in the same spaces as they. I know in your son's school, there are those kids who just, you know, like run tutorials as well, 5,000. Surely, come on.
I just come like, but our problems are different. We have different.
I can't relate, Naomi, but do you, girl? Are you talking about allowance? Really? Are people giving kids allowance out here? Yeah, 5,000. Please.
Munishukishe. Without 5,000. First of all.
Syllabus inanipita. Syllabus is running quite fast. But yeah, you know, there's that difference. And how do you make your child understand that, you know, people are different, our fingers are not the same. Hey.
I think that's another challenge when it comes to even at school, because you have children with different, because the homes are different, how they are taught is different, their backgrounds are different. Yeah, you could be like super rich, but you don't spoil your kids that way. You could be able to give your children that amount, but you just choose not to. And then there's that who probably doesn't have. Not some kids are there on scholarship. It's different, yeah. So I feel like that's another really maybe story for another day when you discuss finances and children, because I feel like it's a very important lesson that our kids get to learn at a very young age, how to earn, how to manage, how to spend, because some of us we were taught only, we just saw the spending, so
not see the earning, and then you grow up and then it's a culture shock to do.
I just know how to spend this money.
Oh my god, I remember I used to ask my dad for like, it's what something is happening that I want shoes. I want shoes to go to court with. And I remember I used to ask na kiburi. I'd be like, daddy, niko tao, nimevaa viatu. Nikutumie pay bill. Please leap us so that I can go to court. I have court in a jiff. Hey, that thing my dad never let me rest with it. It was like, oh, Sharon, she always has her way. Always has her way. But I don't know. I taught me to be aggressive, I guess. And then when you start looking for that money to buy your own shoes, that's when you know I might as well just stay with my slippers
now until
I don't need all those others. All those others are unnecessary. The world will end and we will leave them. But anyway, Nisa, we'll have that conversation about children and finances and how we are incorporating such knowledge
definitely
to them.
And that video they would say, I think I've also seen a couple, like the parents who are intentional about financial, well-being of kids, and I love it.
Financial literacy is very important, and I hate the fact that I learned about it after high school.
Right, should be included in the CBC. Like, you're bored and you know, like, this is money, and then
they should start it in PP2.
Right?
PP2. They should know.
You learn your math.
Yeah. If this is 10 shillings can do this and this and this. But if you save it on money market fund, it will earn you interest. Anyway, we'll definitely have that convo.
Yeah, we see how that is.
And then talking about privileged kids, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but oh well. I remember one time I was in Shags for a while, and I think she's like 8 or something. She's been raised in a very high-end way, and she goes to a very, very good school, very, very good. And I think they were having a career day or something. Now she had asked for things. Oh, the mom got her, what is this thing that doctors use for heartbeat? A stethoscope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she had all her attire, everything check. But the mom couldn't make to come to the event. So the other option was who? Her grandma. Now, my man calls me later, like really, really late in the evening, and he's like, so my sister's daughter has refused for grandma to take her to career day because her grandmother doesn't know English.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, okay, all right. So could you please just go and escort her, because our ushagos are quite not too far from each other. So could you please go and escort her and then take her to school, because apparently school needs someone who knows English. And funny thing is, when I went to that school, there are kids whose parents did not show up and they were still okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was a kid who was there with the grandma. The grandma was on a wheelchair and she showed up. And she showed up without her English. Now, what made me wonder was, is it madharau? Is it like, are we raising our children to look down on people just because we are giving them a certain kind of lifestyle? Are we like showing them to degrade some sort of people? Because that was the vibe I was getting.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. And to think that this is your grandma. There's a difference. This is someone else, but this is your grandma who you relate with, who you see often, who you call grandma. Like grandma is someone very special to you, and refusing because of what? Is it? I feel like it's also part of what this person, individual.
Mm-hmm.
It could be two ways. This is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
It could be her as a person, thinking of what other people will think about her. Yeah. So it could be self-esteem, just her as a person.
The girl.
Yeah, because now you're wondering, what would my classmates think of me if I come with my grandma who doesn't speak English? Mm-hmm. Or it could be the way she's been brought up in terms of, this is how we just speak English, we just do this. So if I'm going with someone who doesn't speak English, then it also comes to what would people think of me. So it could be also just her as a person. Yeah. But also, what kind of relationship does she have with the grandma? I'm also trying to figure out, because children love. I remember I told whoever grandma is not coming, he's just like, I do not want to talk about it. Like, it's like we're not having this conversation. We're not talking about it. I don't know how she's gonna get here, but she's gonna be here. So I feel like with children and grandmas, that's a very special bond. Yeah. And for her to refuse just because of she can't speak English.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And I remember having that conversation with my man later on. And he was like, we'll just talk about it by now, because he couldn't also understand that concept. And he's like, spare the rod and spoil the child kind of person. So he's very strict. But he can't ingilia how the mom, his sister, is going to raise her daughter.
And did the mom say anything about it? Well,
actually not. She said, she's actually the one who suggested that I'm around, and then the girl quickly jumped onto that opportunity that I should be the one to take her to school. I don't know. I feel like there's a gap. There's a gap somewhere there.
Yeah.
That needs to be clearly filled and defined, so that people understand. We don't want to raise our kids in such a way that they look down on people. I know that girl definitely respects her grandma, but saying you don't want something just because of this and this, it might be the peer pressure in school, but come on. I saw the people who came to that school. there is no peer pressure there. There's no peer
Yes.
pressure. It's just like it's been inculcated in the girl's head that she needs to be perfect or she needs this and this. Yeah. So it became quite awkward, but anyway, I was happy to oblige. I was the auntie Madu. Auntie Waharia who came through for the niece. But anyway. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about it. It's some of the things that, because I'm putting grandma as a mom.
Yeah.
And for her position, I can just imagine how she felt at that moment where this person doesn't want to go with me because I don't speak English. Do you know how those things affect people in different ways? It doesn't matter how old or young you are, but it does really affect them. Because you're like, because you'll think about what is my daughter telling this child?
Yeah.
That becomes so yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
I did feel that it bothered her when we went back, because we had like a short conversation afterwards. I spoke to the grandma, and it did bother her, considering how she was talking. She was like, wanadhani sisi hatukwenda shule, unajua yeye mimi ndio nilisomesha mama yake. So yeah, I'm like, okay, I hope I don't get here with my son. I hope the relationship that my son has with my mom, it remains that way. And just because my son is going to a very good school that everyone speaks English, he doesn't refuse for my mom to come show up for him. Me, I will tell my mom whether amekubali ama amekata, unaenda. With your broken English, you will go. What has been your lowest moment in raising him?
I think I've had a couple. It's 6 years. So I have many. But I think the lowest for me was sometime last year. I had, because of many things happening, I was mentally not in a good space. I was actually very bad, like really bad.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to admit. My lowest was, I think I was so focused myself, I sort of neglected. I neglected him, not consciously, but all the feelings that I had, my reactions, I was just on him.
Yeah.
It was just on him. I was very angry, and any little thing you'll do, I just go off, no matter how bad.
Like snap?
I'll just snap. I'll just snap. Until one day he just came and looked at me like, Mom, did I do something wrong?
Akaanza kujishuku, a little boy.
Because it was, I think at that point I was like, okay, I know I'm not in a good space. And I call for, personally, the way I deal with things, I call myself for meetings a lot.
Yeah.
So I sat down and I was like, okay, there's you going through a lot, and then there's you raising this boy. So you need to sort of like put those things aside.
Draw a line.
And I made it intentional. Like when I'm around him, I will try to just change my mind and just try to be a better person. And I feel like also just being a mom to him helped me go through what was going on, which story for another day. But that was like the worst, because I never thought my feelings and my reactions would be towards him. And he felt it. And for him to come tell me, I was like, hey, it's this bad.
Rather, it's crazy for him to notice.
Yeah. And I noticed even after that, when we had that conversation, I saw he was a bit drawn. So he would wake up in the morning and run outside. Not because, yes, he loves to play out, but I think it was, I don't want to be close to mom. Because she is spewing negativity. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I had not thought about it until when I called myself for a meeting. I was like, girl, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Because why is your son not interested in hanging out?
He loves hanging out with me. I was like, he just loves going out to play. But no, it was, I don't want to chill with mom so much. Because she's just snapping, shouting, or doing something. I think that's the most recent lowest for me as a mom. I was like, hey, anyway, it's not good. Yeah.
I think also our mental status is usually, we don't have the luxury of snapping or just lagging behind, you know, because we're supposed to show up for these little human beings
100%.
10%.
I remember ever seen this videos. I think content creators that like you're there trying to solve as a mom, then your child shows up and then you automatically have like 1,000% energy. There's no crying. Like for real, it's true. We have to.
It's our reality, people. It's not just a video.
Yeah, it's what happens. Like you're sad, but well, you gotta snap out of it.
Yeah, you just can't break down because you're literally the only thing they have. Anyway, it's our. Okay, guys, please tell us what your experiences are with raising your children, financial. What are some of the losses? What are some of the lows you have gone through as a single parent? Single parent, that means single dad and single moms, because we also want to know the experiences of single daddies. We're not leaving you guys behind here, because you guys are great. Please inform us on the comment section, and be sure to interact with us on our social media platforms. I have been your girl Sharon. We will catch each other on the next episode.
And I'm your girl Shikaro. Find me on my personal if you want to see more of me and Q. I'm Hey at Shiko. And on TikTok, I just do fun as well. So catch up.
What on TikTok now?
Yeah. We're catching up with this one.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.